Happy Tuesday, all you beautiful radio listeners. Thank you for dropping in on our little happy hour. We appreciate you listening. If you're watching on YouTube, here's a hand gesture just for y'all. If you're on YouTube, be sure to use the chat to communicate with the show. If you're listening on the radio through 105.1 FM, 1080 AM on 105.1thefan.com, Odyssey.com if you're using the Odyssey app, or if you just ask your smart speaker to help me be smarter, use the fan text line, 503-2GO-FAN. That's 503-864-6326. Use it. Use the chat. Use the text line to share your thoughts, ask questions, solicit advice, or answer me this, dear listeners. Do you ever use LinkedIn? Do you know how to properly use LinkedIn? Casey, are you on, and do you feel like you're effectively using LinkedIn?
Effectively, no.
Okay.
But I am on it.
You have a profile, or you're an active user of the platform?
I check it every once in a while.
What do you check it for?
See who I need to connect with. It's mainly for people that I went to school with, had classes with, stuff like that.
So it's Facebook.
Exactly.
It's like every once in a while I'll go on and see if anybody sent me a message.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I'm just checking. I think I'm learning how to properly use it. So we've seen players take to it to connect following the national championship in college football. Fernando Mendoza famously only had a LinkedIn profile for social media, which is hilarious that he's going to be the number 1 overall pick. Other players going out and connecting with him on the platform, hilarious. Spencer Jones. Do you know Spencer Jones? Are you familiar with Spencer Jones? Does that name mean anything to you?
Remind me a little bit.
Forward, Denver Nuggets.
Okay, yes.
Okay. So in the last week, he has had 2 game winners hit on him. So he went to LinkedIn. He posted, last week I had 2 game-winning shots hit on me. The people who grow the fastest are the ones who are willing to take the shot, own the outcome, and step back in again. It's just a place to inspire people and let people get over their hurdles. I absolutely love that. If you're going to get victimized twice in a week, you got to do something. That is the right place to use it. I think that's how you're supposed to use it.
Yeah, rather than jumping to Twitter like most other people would.
He
uses LinkedIn like a professional.
I am loving the sports angle, but turning it into like a motivational speech. This is my new favorite thing about social media that I'm seeing in sports right now. So yes, please, I will take more of this. So let's continue to do what we're doing. He has started 36 games this year, undrafted free agent, averaging 22.6 minutes per game. So congratulations to Spencer Jones. And you didn't even know who he was.
I needed the reminder.
Okay, let me ask you another question.
He's got a pretty basic name.
I don't disagree with that. Let me see if you know this name at all. Have you ever heard of somebody named Dayton James Weber?
No, I have not.
This is on ESPN. I'm going to just read you the headline. I do not know what to do with this at all. Quadruple amputee cornhole player fatally shoots man, authorities say.
How?
Apparently, the guy was sitting in his car. You're riding shotgun with a quadruple amputee, and apparently he shoots you? So Dayton Webb...
I guess he was riding shotgun.
James Weber, 27, was arrested and charged as a fugitive from justice by police in Albemarle County, Virginia, the Charles County Sheriff's Office said in a statement. They are saying that the professional cornhole player who is a quadruple amputee fatally shot a passenger in the front seat of a car he was driving during an argument. Yep. The silence is appropriate.
Yeah, that's all I could. I've got nothing.
What? Like, do you remember Oscar Pistorius?
I do.
That, I thought, was the craziest story that you ever heard. A double amputee. I think he was an amputee. I don't know if he was born with or without his legs. I think he was an amputee, yes?
I believe so.
So he is Blade Runner. He becomes famous as Blade Runner. He has this model girlfriend, and he becomes so paranoid that it shoots her through the bathroom door. That was an insane story. This is the first paragraph of the sentence, or of the article. The first paragraph. Professional cornhole player who is also a quadruple amputee fatally shot a passenger in the front seat of a car he was driving during an argument. What?
The logistics on it. I need
yes.
the forensic files breakdown.
Yeah, like, is there a reverse dash cam that's going to show us what happened? Like, you get in a car with a quadruple amputee, maybe you're a little nervous. I don't think you're worried about getting shot.
I think that's the least of your concern.
I've seen pictures of him playing cornhole. I did not see any videos. He's a professional cornhole player. He does not use prosthetics, at least in the photo that I saw. This whole thing, I don't even know what to do with it. When I'm looking at the headline on ESPN, this is not on a back page somewhere of something. This is a headline this afternoon on ESPN.
ESPN did a profile on him in 2023.
Of course they did. This is why the Oscar Pistorius thing jumps into my head. This guy is a hero to all. Like, could you be any more inspirational? I don't care if you're playing cornhole or if you're doing underwater basket weaving or whatever you're doing. If you are a professional in any sort of competition with no full limbs, fantastic. And now he's wanted for murder, arrested on murder charges. Arrested and charged as a fugitive from justice by police. Second-degree murder and related charges. Oh, sorry. First-degree murder, second-degree murder, and related charges.
They're going to throw the book at this guy. But
and he's going to shoot it out of the air with his shotgun somehow. I don't know what is going on. This is maybe the craziest story. I don't know what I was planning to talk about today before I read that, but I cannot figure it out.
That's a head scratcher for sure.
According to his parents, doctors amputated his arms and legs when he was 10 months old to save his life after he contracted a blood infection that led to sepsis. And then he goes on to become a professional cornhole player. And now a murderer. Just my mind is blown. Were you ready for that today?
No, I was not.
I was not.
Did not have that on my bingo card.
I don't even know what to say. So if you need more of that, I'm sure that Primetime will give you a full breakdown of what it is. This was just introduced to me. You were getting my immediate reaction. I'm not sure what to do with it. So we will move on to some In Case You Missed It. In case you missed it, world number one golfer Scottie Scheffler has withdrawn from this week's Houston Open to be with his wife for the birth of their second child. Finally, a guy who knows what's really important in life. I love that Scottie is willing to skip a non-major to be there for his wife for the delivery, then leave the actual parenting to his wife and the nannies the second that the slimy poop factory is out of the world so he can go chase another green jacket. Like, aren't you supposed to leave after the kid is born?
Convenient timing, Scottie.
Yeah. Well, he did this going into Valhalla and then got arrested, if you remember. I know Scheffler is a heavy betting favorite, or was a heavy betting favorite in Houston after he tied the course record last year with an 862 in the second round. What kind of odds can I get on him changing 0 diapers for kid number 2? I don't care what the number is. If it's 0.5, hammer the under, kids. That's my recommendation. In case you missed it, Tiger Woods is finally returning to competitive golf this week to play in the TGL Finals for his Jupiter Lynx team. And look, seeing Tiger back is awesome. I don't want to hear any of that. It's not real golf. It's Tiger swinging real golf clubs, taking too many real pain pills, and hooking up with real golf groupies. If that's not golf, I don't know what is.
Have you seen what Tiger's looking like?
I actually have not. I mean,
he looks jacked.
Well, he always looks jacked. He's looked jacked for a long time.
Not like this.
He's coming off a ruptured Achilles. All he can do is upper body workouts. Let's see what his legs look like in shorts. Then tell me he looks jacked. In case you missed it, following the lopsided exhibition event where the flag football specialist routed NFL stars, it's pretty obvious that the current Team USA squad will represent the country at the 2028 Olympics. Sorry, NFL players, if you want to win an Olympic medal, you're going to have to do it the old-fashioned way. Push a bobsled, get a spot as an alternate in the 4x100 meter relay, or take a time machine back to 1964 when athletes' warm-up routine included light jogging, pretending to stretch, and 2 unfiltered camels. That's the only way. I pulled up a list of NFL players to get Olympic medals. It is all the 1960s, 70s, and 4x100 meter relay. That's it. I think Herschel Walker finished 7th in the bobsled, so I don't think that's a realistic way to get back there. In case you missed it, new Steelers head coach Mike McCarthy publicly welcomed the idea of a reunion with Aaron Rodgers for the 2026 season. Of course, privately, he's praying to the same God as Casey, praying that Aaron Rodgers retires and that Will Howard is actually the next Tom Brady, and that there's a bar near the practice facility where with all-you-can-eat Wing Wednesdays. That's what
Agreed.
Come on. McCarthy said, yes, it'd be a great story. He's not wrong. He has been... Imagine the story. A has-been quarterback teaming up with a has-been coach to reinvigorate a has-been city. I mean, it would be... It's got everything. Rust Belt City, Aaron Rodgers' wrestling belt celebration, and Mike McCarthy, a guy who buys a bigger belt twice a year just to keep his dignity from falling down. It's...
Mike McCarthy, a man who wrestles with his belt.
Yeah, well, yeah, man. Take it however you want. I know the tariffs are supposed to help the Steel City. I'm not sure how they help Aaron Rodgers or Mike McCarthy get back into form, but we'll just hope. In case you missed it, Hall of Famer Frank Thomas is suing the White Sox, Nike, and Fanatics for selling his City Connect jersey without his permission. Honestly, this is pretty interesting. I don't know if you heard the quotes from the Big Hurt. He said, "Are you a former ball player suffering from low relevance? Do you have less energy, drive, and your name isn't in the headline as much? Then you need a complimentary bottle of Big Lawsuit. It helps you feel stronger, leaner, and more litigious. And trust me, your lawyer will like it too." Hey. Well, I like that one. In case you missed it, Arkansas freshman Darius Acuff Jr. has become the first NCAA men's basketball player to sign a signature shoe deal with a major brand while still in college. Okay, calm down on that. He's going to the NBA draft as soon as the Razorbacks are out of the tournament, so he's barely in college. And the deal's with Reebok, who's barely a shoe company. So let's not... Following his historic Reebok deal, Darius Acuff is drawing heavy comparisons to NBA legend Allen Iverson. Call it hype if you want to, but the comparison has actually been co-signed by Allen Iverson himself. Of course, also co-signed by Iverson is the actual contract, since he's a vice president of basketball at Reebok who's literally in charge of selling more shoes. So don't be surprised that Iverson is all in on this, please. Darius Acuff Jr. has scored 60 points in his first 2 games of the NCAA tournament, passing Pat Riley for the most ever by an SEC player in the first 2 tourney games. Honestly, you kind of forget that Pat Riley was one of the best basketball players in the country back in the day, you know, right up until his team had to play the school with the black guys. It was... No? Pat Riley scored 58. in the first 2 games of the tournament that ultimately ended up playing against Texas Western. Yeah, okay. Thank you to our studio audience for sticking with us. I'm very excited. At 2:30, Casey is thrilled about his playback calls for play-by-playback. We'll listen to calls from the weekend that was in sports and see if we can figure out how they perceive the future. But right now, we need to get into the Daily Buzz. We've got some Seattle Mariners news. We've got to talk a little bit about what's going on in the NFL. We've got opening day right about around the corner. Blazers get a big win. Tumani Kamara has a big night. All of that and more in the Daily Buzz. We do it next on Happy Hour. This is 105.1 The Fan.
The Fan.
All right, kids, we're almost there. Oh, hey! Your Vetter Cup champion Seattle Mariners just about to get back at it. Thursday, they're going to take on fellow division champs, the Cleveland Guardians. Guardians had one of the more historic comebacks in their division at the end of last season. They're going to take on the Mariners, who are a incredible 15-4 in season openers dating back to 2007. It's going to be Logan Gilbert on the mound. I cannot freaking wait for this. What are you've got opening day tomorrow, Casey. You've got the Netflix Giants Yankees worldwide broadcast. Are you pumped or what?
I'm all for it. I'm ready for baseball season. The World Baseball Classic got me excited about all these early games. I'm ready for it.
Let's freaking go.
The Buzz.
Oh no, I hit the wrong one. What are you doing? Come on. Wanted to give you an update on Bryce Miller. Bryce Miller finally had a chance to throw a full-effort bullpen session. Said he is 100% for the first time in a long time. Probably going to slot in as your fifth starter anyways. Not determined whether or not he will make his rotation on time. Most likely you'll see Emerson Hancock, but after an oblique inflammation that has bothered him for the entirety of spring training, throwing the ball 98 miles an hour, feeling good. Everything should be on pace to get Bryce Miller back sooner than later, and hopefully we'll miss as few starts as possible.
The Buzz.
One big one from the Seattle Mariners. I don't know why I didn't start with this. I apologize to everybody. Listen, I put this show together. I try to get it with the most up-to-date news stories. I will admit that I got derailed a little bit by the quadruple amputee story, and I should have put this first. I don't know how I didn't. I'm sorry. I even had another shoe deal ahead of this. Mariners fans, I'm sorry. Brooks Running Shoes have a new deal with the Mariners Salmon Race. So if you go to the ballpark, the Salmon Race will feature Brooks Running Shoes. King, Sockeye, Silver, and Humpy will be outfitted with custom running shoes. Will Humpy get more wins this year? It's hard to say because everybody will be improved. But the nice thing is they will get the arch support they need to make it through 162 or more races. Remember, Humpy got his big win against the Tigers in the 15th when they brought out a second Salmon Race at the end of the year. If you don't know what I'm talking about, shame on you.
The Buzz.
Hey, Blazers get a nice win. Is there something that we can do to petition the league where the Blazers can play the Brooklyn Nets a lot more often? Is that something we can do? I know if we do realignment because the Sonics and the Vegas regular Sonics come into the league, is it possible that the Blazers can be the team to move to the East? I think that would make things a lot easier. I'm not saying that, they're ready to win the East now, but boy, it feels like there's less competition over there.
I know the Nets are bad, but do we really want more games from them?
That's a fair point. 9 3-pointers, 35 points for Toumani Camara. He has a career night. Throw in a nice night from Scoot Henderson, 13 points, 5 assists, 4 steals. Donovan Clingan, 15 rebounds, 7 blocks. Let's freaking go.
The Buzz.
Would you care to guess where the Seattle Seahawks sit with salary cap space this year after the JSN signing?
I'm going to go with, we're talking open cap or?
Open cap or where they rank in the league. I have both numbers right next to each other on my sheet.
I'm going to go with 22.
22 million in cap space?
They're 22nd in the league in cap
They
space.
are 8th in the league in cap space. They have $32 million still open. So everybody thinks that this deal is absolutely ridiculous. I will remind you that the cap went up more than $20 million this season, over $300 million for the first time. They still have a ton of space. They are 8th in the league with the most cap space for this season, so still plenty of room to go out, find maybe some of those veteran free agents that are floating around to make some other things. Right now, for this season in 2026, the JSN deal only adds $5.8 million to his cap hit. So
where are they in terms of the league? Who's above and below them?
I do not have the full list. I know they are 8th most. Obviously, that is kind of a list that is in flux. If you want to pull that up, we can address that if you like.
The Buzz.
A couple little things around the ballpark. The major league teams have been rolling out their new snacks. So when you go to the ballpark, there's a little expose. The most anticipated is something the Marlins are calling the machete. It is a 2-foot wide flour tortilla that is going to be filled with everything that you would want on a taco. It is a 2-foot wide, basically soft taco. So get ready for that. The Rockies have a 2-foot, 1-pound hot dog that they will be featuring. The Mariners have a new ferry boat that you can fill up with all of your concessions. And more ballparks are expanding to take on the 999 challenge. If you have not been to the ballpark in a long time, I went to quite a few games last year, a handful of playoff games as well as several regular season games. Man, you got to get out to the ballpark. I have said this before. I love this current Seattle Mariners team. There's something about the makeup of it. I love that they went back and re-signed Josh Naylor. I'm super excited about seeing Brendan Donovan in this lineup, not just because of his ability to get on base, his low strikeouts. He seems to have a personality that fits with it. I don't know what we're going to get from Cal Raleigh, but if he gets 35 or 65 home runs, love me some Cal Raleigh. Julio Rodriguez was just named the third best player of the top 25 under 25 that was put out by either ESPN or The Score. I can't remember who put it out, but either way, he is still ascending. He has been one of the best players in baseball. I know that he's streaky. I know that he does not start the season very well. Reminder, he's 24 years old. Randy Arozarena has apologized to their catcher. All of the things about the Mariners lineup I absolutely love. If Portland gets a team, I am a Portland fan. Because going to the ballpark, and if there was one right down the street, up the street, down the road, near the Odyssey offices, oh man, you better believe me, on an afternoon game, I am leaving happy hour. I'm heading right over to the ballpark. And you know Portland is going to have as good a food as anybody in the league.
It's not like I've watched many Yankee championships in my lifetime.
Yeah, you're just
Might
a pup.
as well just go over to
Yes.
Portland.
Yeah, there you go.
The Buzz.
And if we get a team, think of the themed nights that we can do. Have you watched Heated Rivalry yet?
No, I haven't.
Are you familiar with
I
Heated
am
Rivalry?
familiar
Do you
with
want to give our listeners a quick synopsis of what you know about Heated Rivalry?
It's an HBO Max show about hockey, and
Is it about hockey?
it's not necessarily, but they're about hockey players who love each other.
It is very much. Guess which Major League Baseball franchise is planning a Heated Rivalry themed night?
I don't know where the show takes place, but I'm going to guess it's the Seattle Mariners.
It is not the Seattle Mariners. Try again.
Minnesota Twins.
Why do you think the Twins? They love hockey up there? Or
I
they
think-
love love up there?
I think that's a little bit of both.
Oh, they love love. They love hockey. What's the last place that you would think would be a good fit for this?
Philly.
How about Boston? The Boston Red Sox are planning a Heated Rivalry night. This is a questionable decision. If you put if you put me up to the test of whether or not I think this is a good idea. What is Boston known for? Is it tolerance? Is it acceptance? Or is it screaming things we cannot repeat at the radio to players that are coming in from other cities or the umpires? How many old Fenway fans are going to show up who've had season tickets as long as I can remember, Tommy? So we got to go out there, we got to cheer on the Sox, and they're going to show up thinking that it's actually about a rivalry just to find out that it's not. Any chance that goes sideways at all? Who knows?
That's going to be good.
Yeah, I'm going to leave that alone for now, but just know that it's on our radar. Boy, howdy, that's going to be something.
The Buzz.
Looks like the Cubs are making a very smart decision, which seems really obvious. They are trying to finalize a long-term extension with Pete Crow Armstrong. Speaking of players that are really good and really young, that seems like an absolute no-brainer.
The Buzz.
Tigers are expected to have, the Tigers have the number 2 overall prospect in Major League Baseball, 21-year-old Kevin McGonigal. He has made the opening day roster after a brilliant spring. He posted a 250, a 423, 500 slash line in spring with 11 walks and only 8 strikeouts. I don't know if you've looked at any of these lists, and I'm not going to bore the people that aren't huge baseball fans by going through the top 100 prospects or going through the top 25 under 25 in its entirety. There are a lot of stars that are very young in this league, and just looking at some of them and the way that they played in the World Baseball Classic, the way that this league is just getting flush with guys that are homegrown and that are Americans and that are flashy, from and featured heavily in the World Baseball Classic. I'm looking at you, Junior Caminero. There are studs all over the freaking place. I was a little bummed that Connor Griffin will not be in the Pirates opening day lineup, but you expect to see him, a 19-year-old with the Pirates. The number 1 prospect on the 25 under 25 is Paul Skeens. So if you can get some of these young teams to hold on to their young stars, A's, I'm looking at you with Nick Kurtz. Please and thank you. They've got 3 or 4 guys that are really young and really good. Jacob Wilson was your starting shortstop for it. I am so excited for where baseball's at, and I will make another thing that's on my radar that is not a gay love story about hockey going to Fenway, because that's one. The other one with baseball is please do not have a work stoppage. Do not have anything that interferes with play. Figure out your CBA as quick as you can. I cannot have a missed season. We do not want to lose the momentum that is going right now. As a baseball fan, it is about as good as it's ever been. So let's please keep it going. With that, let's walk over to the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. See you.
First on the Fan, Tampa Bay Buccaneers linebacker Levante David has announced his retirement.
That was my next one. I'm like looking at the clock going, we should probably get out of here. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad I saved it then, because the 12-time captain, he played 14 seasons. Do we think he's a Hall of Famer?
Yeah, I mean, all-pro, 14 years of being one of the best players. I mean, just the fact that they say one of the best defenders in Tampa Bay Buccaneers history makes me think that, and I know it's hype and it's trying to make a story bigger than it maybe needs to be. But if you're putting him up there with any of the Buccaneers greats, they've got a lot on the defensive side of the football. I will co-sign that he is probably a Hall of Famer. Do you do the thing when you see stories like this and relate it back to your own team and things that you're worried about? Now seems like a little late in the game to be retiring.
A little bit.
Anybody worried about your own players pulling one of the same things and doing that? I'm looking at a number 0 for the Seahawks, who was really, really good off the edge last year, and just go, please don't do the same thing.
Levante David has been my favorite linebacker to watch.
Yeah.
He's 7th in NFL all tackles with 1,700 and...
1,700 tackles or whatever it said.
1,716 tackles, I believe it is. And he's also one of 3 players to record 40-plus sacks and 35-plus takeaways. Can you name me the other 2?
No, I cannot.
Ray Lewis and Brian Urlacher.
Yes, go ahead and sign me up for that. I will, so there you go. That answers the Hall of Fame question for you right there.
For more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Casey Smith from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of the Fan Happy Hour.
Oh, yeah. That's my practice dog, sorry.
So, Schumacher out there with a word for Baumler, and it looks like you get the sense, right, that he just let him know some pretty good news.
Yeah, I think he told him he made the team.
That was great. The reaction from his teammates.
That's awesome.
What a way to do that. That is so cool. I guess, we don't know that, but that certainly looked like the conversation. Listen, Skip has to have all those difficult conversations he's talked about. You should get to have fun sometimes, too.
That's right.
That was out of Texas spring training. The Royals were playing the Rangers, and Schumacher, the manager for Skip Schumacher, the manager for the Rangers, took a mound visit to let Carter Bromler, the rookie pitcher, know that he made the opening day roster.
Can I tell you what is hilarious about that? And I think I stepped on the comment a little bit. I've got the Rangers Royals on the TV right now, and there was a mound visit. It was not that mound visit, but that is an awesome way to do it. So congratulations, you're getting the opening day start as a mound visit to what looks like you're being pulled from the spring training game, and that's all it is. That is a very cool way to do it. Baseball getting more fun all the time, and I am here for it. And the Texas Rangers are a team that surprised everybody not that long ago and went out and won a World Series when nobody expected them to. I don't know that I have put a lot of thought into what they're going to be this year, but hey, when you have a clubhouse that likes to go out and have fun, that's a good recipe for some success. So I love the way that they're doing things down there, but I will root against them in every game because they're in my division.
I just like how the broadcaster pretty much said it perfectly. This is the time where the managers have tough conversations.
Yep.
I'm glad that a manager had to have fun with it.
Well, that's exactly what I mean. But having a culture matters in baseball. You've got a lot of baseball games. You're going to make a lot of correct decisions and a lot of incorrect decisions, and they're all going to be on display. So finding a moment like that to kind of go out and create some fun is awesome. I could not be more excited for opening day.
Driving, step back. In circles now. Johnson catch and shoot. That's what they needed. Timeout. Portland. Do you believe it? Go. Here comes Johnson. The layup. It's good. Johnson. Transition. Takes it inbounds. 9 seconds. Boyd wants it inside. Drive. 6 seconds. Block. That Boyd. They launch down court. Anderson gets it. Throw on the glass slipper. It's a Cinderella story in Portland, Oregon. For the first time in program history. High Point breaks through. We will see you in the round of 32. Oh, what a feeling.
That was High Point Student Radio, Jimmy Rosselli and Griffin Wright on the call. How electric was that call?
I mean, I get that it's their first win ever. What I would love to hear is the contrast of the Wisconsin call. And they're like, bummer, we lost. Because I don't think that's the funniest thing about the tournament is how much it matters. And that's student radio, and you can hear all of that. That is obviously not a professional broadcast, and even if it were, the guys with the team. Student radio is one thing. They've been there for, a couple years. They haven't lived the up and down of the history. It's just trying to emulate what you hear in some of the calls. To be quite honest, it didn't really get me going that much. I would much rather see those big moments where it is authentic. It felt a little bit forced. You know that it didn't matter that much to Wisconsin. It's a bummer to lose in those games, but you play those calls back to back, and you'll realize how silly that sounds.
This 23 seconds, 22. Tanner right side, they hedge him. He drives Hoiberg. He nearly fell down. He's on the dribble. Baseline. No shot for him. Gives it over to Nickel. 4 in the shot clock. In the paint. Shot on the way. No good. Rebound Nebraska. Huskers have it. 9 seconds left to go. Wow. Across the timeline. Price. to Traeger. Layup. Yes! Yes! It's good. 2.2. It's 2-point. Long shot, no good. With 2.2 to go. Handed the ball. Gets it in. 2 seconds. Half-court shot on the way. Oh, my God. It's no good. Oh, my Lord. In and out at the buzzer. Nebraska to the Sweet 16. It is a miracle finish for Nebraska. And it was destined to happen. It was destined to happen. Nebraska's going to the Sweet 16.
That was from Nebraska's win over Vanderbilt. 74-72 was the final on that one. I know you said, what was the guy's name a few moments ago? Is Kevin McGonagall?
Yeah.
I'm going to drop a Harry Potter reference on you. That guy sounded like Peter Pettigrew.
I was just going to say it sounded like he was turning into a werewolf. I'm a little bit older than you, and I was going to go Teen Wolf on that. It does. It sounds, I was going to say act like you've been there before, but Nebraska just got their first win that they've ever had in the tournament. But, like, what is going on with that guy? He's got like that nice right hand voice up here, and then he's like, like, what is going on? Like, you and I, we did not talk about this before. I almost stopped you before you said anything. It sounds like he's going feral. That is ridiculous. What is going on?
Inbound comes to Darling. 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Darling on the drive to the rim. Layup is good. Layup is good. St. John's wins it 67-65. The St. John's Red Storm storm into the Sweet 16 for the first time since 1999.
That was the St. John's victory, the final call over Kansas. Let's check it on the brackets for a second.
Yeah.
You had
my brackets.
Duke beating St. John's?
I had Kansas beating Duke, which will not be happening. So I had St. John's losing to Northern Iowa. Is that who they played in the first round? Yeah, I think that's who I had.
I think so.
So I had them losing their first game. And here they are rolling along. So, I mean, I've still got UConn as my Final Four team out of the East, but yeah, brackets not looking super great right now. It's one of those things about the tournament that if you see the upsets around you, it ends up clearing a path for you. But there's not a lot of low seeds anywhere. So all of these games are going to be tough. I think Texas is probably the biggest surprise as an 11 seed still playing and dancing, but they didn't play powerhouses. I mean, I guess they beat Gonzaga, who is technically a powerhouse, but still a mid-major, at least for another season. So, yes, very interesting to see where we're at. But, yeah, no surprise, my bracket completely busted.
The long toss by Stevenson, the catch, Bashar, and that's it! Upset madness! VCU comes all the way back to defeat North Carolina in overtime.
That was the final call from the VCU North Carolina game. Did we think UNC was going to go farther, or is this about what we expected from them?
I actually did call that one right. I had VCU winning that game. North Carolina just was never really that inspiring of a team. It's so funny how we kind of project the school lineage, mascot, team colors, all of the things onto a team. And I've admitted many times that I did not watch it. So that's why all the research that I did was going, all right, who are the big names that are going to fall early? Let's pick against those. And who are the teams that could potentially win the whole thing? I am really getting kind of kicked in the teeth in the middle of the brackets where I did not have Iowa, where I did not have Arkansas, where I did not have some of the teams that should have won winning. I just looked at it from who are the upsets? Who are the Final Four teams? And next year, I might put in 3 hours of research to see if I can do a little bit better than my 2 hours gave me this year.
And here we go. 8.9 to play. Sturts with the catch. Sturts bounce pass to the corner. Fulgaris for three. Oh! 9 to play.
That was the game winner from the Iowa game over the big upset over Florida.
Yeah.
Is that the biggest upset that we're going to see, or do you think that we're potentially going to have a bigger upset in the later round?
Well, I mean, so from a ranking standpoint, was that the biggest upset, or was it Texas over Gonzaga? Because that was an 11-3, so technically that was the biggest one. But like you said, the higher you rank Gonzaga, the more likely they are to leave the tournament early. The Iowa one was so interesting because
Former
that was
national champions in Florida.
No, I get that. I'm with you, but again, that last year's defending national champs still have some players from that team on the roster, yeah. So you expect them to go out and make a little bit of a run, but still, it's a different team. It's a different year. The thing about that game was the guy that made the game winner also was reviewed for a possible punch that could have had him tossed from the game. He gets a chance to be out there. So how little things can end up determining the final outcome so much is one of the things that this tournament affords you. So yeah, I don't know it's the biggest upset, but yeah, the biggest upset by number right now is Texas. Other than that, what's the lowest? Yeah, Iowa's a 9 seed, so that's about all you can really do. I had Tennessee beating Iowa State, so that can still happen. But you could get Purdue winning that game against Texas. There's a 2 seed. You get Nebraska beating Iowa. There's a 4 seed in. So the Elite Eight could really be all low single digits, and it wouldn't be terribly surprising. So it's pretty chalky, and the small schools are at least in big conferences, so I don't think it's that surprising.
That's all I got for you.
All right, well, I've got a college basketball-related plea from one of the coaches that will be our one more for the road. We'll do it next. It's Happy Hour on 105.1 and the Fan Sports Network.
Fan Madness.
If you missed anything from the show or you're not listening to the show right now, please download the podcast. You can find it at 1051thefan.com, odyssey.com, the Odyssey app. Casey, what do we need to address on the text, toy, and YouTube chats?
More on the quadriplegic.
Yes, please. This is the craziest story. I almost abandoned the entire show just to talk about this, but I couldn't even barely read the article. My mind was just blown with imaginary scenarios that I was creating in my head. I'm just trying to picture what it looked like in the car.
That's what
with this
I
guy.
Need the forensic files breakdown.
I need just
the
cannot
angle of the weapon.
All the thing, and you don't see it coming. What is? I just need more.
But we have a texter that said allegedly there's no fingerprints on the gun. And you can't say that guy was all thumbs.
There you go. All right. Well, if you feel great about yourself for winning a cornhole tournament at your family picnic, and a guy with no arms and no legs is a professional, I don't think that you can be so proud of the trophy that you have sitting just to the left of your TV that stands about 4.5 feet tall, that every time somebody comes over, have you seen my giant cornhole trophy that I beat my brother for? So maybe I should mellow out on my
I don't know anyone who owns one of those.
Mellow out on patting myself in the back. Anything else that we need to address right here, young man?
Not that I'm seeing.
Let's do
One more
Tom Izzo. Pretty likable guy, would you say?
Very.
Michigan State, pretty likable team, would you say?
I'd say they're pretty likable.
Yeah. So I could not help but laugh at the plea from UConn coach Dan Hurley, who is urging that St. John's and UConn fans combine their powers when we get to the Sweet 16 and root for the division foes. Red Storm, please come and root for the Huskies. Huskies, let's go root for the Red Storm, because how fun would it be to have a matchup in the Elite Eight? UConn plays against likable Tom Izzo and likable Michigan State. Who does St. John's play against?
Duke.
Everybody will be rooting against Duke. You don't need to urge any fans to root against Duke. All the UConn fans do not want to face who's the number 1 overall seed in the tournament?
Duke.
Dan Hurley, get out of here. I know what you're trying to do. I understand what you're trying to say. Here's what I actually hope for, is I hope the same thing happens in the Big East final in this, which is you guys lost by 20 to St. John's. So if you get what you hope for, I hope it ends up biting you in the ass. It's pretty funny that you guys should root against Michigan State. Really root for us. Get the energy going. Yeah, because you need it, buddy. All right, very good. Big thanks to everybody that listened. Thank you, Casey Smith. You're out the rest of the week.
I am.
All right, and of course, a big thanks to Isaac Ropp. We're all done for now. Bye-bye.
Always look on the right side of life.